Losers bracket in Group A, ladies and gentlemen. No Vision is going up against Sigma Males in the best of 3 series. We have Volskaya Foundry as our current map, the starting map. Honestly, that's already a yellow card from me that should be banned immediately. I keep forgetting when we're hosting these Underdog Cups to tell them to remove Volskaya Foundry and literally throw any other map in there. But, well, maybe here it's actually going to be a bit of fun. So, at this point, we're going to see how the two teams are going to perform here. Obviously, this is the Underdog Cup, so we're focusing on the amateur scene right now with our tournament, trying to shed a bit of a spotlight on the lower level teams and also giving them a tournament environment to compete in and then maybe at some point graduate over to the, the big events. This is all being hosted in cooperation with Heroes Lounge. We have Sigma Males as a Division 4 team and No Vision as a Division 2 team. And while we're in the draft, I have to actually touch on a topic here for the YouTube channel as well, because I feel old, and I tried to talk about it on Twitch, and the reaction was mixed. I feel like I'm losing touch. Most of you know about this whole Coldplay thing that happened. There's a couple of things that are happening currently in culture, in forums, and everywhere else where I just don't understand what's going on. I don't understand the attention that it gets, and I just feel literally like the grandpa that has that needs to go to bed. So the whole Coldplay kiss cam happens. The kiss cam focuses on two people. It turns out that both of them are actually married. They are cheating on their partners, and it becomes a huge scandal. They get obviously exposed, they get ridiculed, and a lot of it rightfully so. What I don't understand, and I really need some input from the YouTube audience here, because I need to know that I'm not alone, or maybe I am alone and I'm really just the problem here. What I don't understand is why this becomes national news, dominates the news cycle, is the main thing that I all of a sudden get pushed into my feed on Twitter, on Instagram, and why it just dominates for such a long time. It's a funny thing. They get called out, rightfully so, but why is this all of a sudden the dominant topic of the day that just overshadows everything else, and people are so unbelievably invested in it, and also so giddy about and hateful about the entire thing, where I'm just saying, I don't understand the reaction anymore. So, that was the topic. Really curious if people have similar experience with this, or if it's just me. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just me and I'm the problem here. Totally possible, but I'm honestly curious. Curious also about what we're going to get today. We got Johanna as our first pick. And look at the bans, it's all melees that we're getting banned out here. Varian, okay, so apparently they're a little bit scared of sniper comp. I already talked, of course, about how teams here can do a lot of research on each other and have the opportunity to target one tricks on the other side, because we have a rule in the draft that heroes can only be picked once. So it's much easier for them to try and target certain players of the opposing team than what you would see with that rule set on top level play, where hero pools are obviously a lot bigger. White main as an early pick. This is one of the cool things, by the way, when we're talking about the amateur level, that you oftentimes have right from the get-go very different priorities and also very different picks, just because they have certain preferences that they want to try and play out instead of always following meta. Now, even in the amateur scene, since this is a competitive environment, you will see certain meta standards still heavily involved, but there is definitely a priority shift. Ophia, for example, outside of Disciple, I do not think there's a lot of players on the top level that will pick her in game number 1, but we have her now on Volskaya Foundry for our first map in this one. And, well, let's see what gets banned out, what they're trying to get rid of here. We were actually delayed by 2 or 3 minutes because, and I have no reason to doubt it, but the red team said one of their players got caught in the rain, got completely soaked and has to towel off. So they gave him an extra 5 minutes so that the poor guy could dry himself. So apparently, I don't know what happened. Maybe he's a bike commuter when it comes to him going to and from work, and he got caught in some kind of downpour. And yeah, I was drenched to the bone from the looks of it. So, Mr. M, I hope that you're dry now and that the keyboard and the mouse are not affected and that everything is going well. But this was an interesting one why a game was slightly delayed. That was one that I hadn't heard yet. And I haven't heard most things. From the cat destroyed something to the dog started to do some weird stuff and ate the wrong thing to, yeah. But okay, by now we have Tracer Band out, and Tesla has also been eliminated. I mean, the Tesla Band alone is already giving you an indication that there are certain picks on the blue team side that they're just trying to get rid of quickly. Chromie and May. And yeah, May is a tank on the first map already being picked here. Apparently they want to channel the power of Overwatch. Slightly OP, either way. So, over on the right side, what's the red team gonna lock in for us? We need a side laner. We don't have a side laner yet. A bit more damage is needed as well. We know that they're already going to be up against Malthael, no matter who they pick here. Oh, Sul'jin. And Tyrael, what has happened here? Okay, I suppose Tyrael with Judgment as the side laner, and then Sul'jin as the auto attacker. I did not see those last two picks coming. Very welcome though. This should be an interesting one. And then we get Nicholas as our final pick, or the final player to pick on Volskaya Foundry, our first map in the best of 3 series. And as this is the losers bracket, whoever loses here is obviously out, so only one team can move forward. And we get Uther, ladies and gentlemen, a double support here. Uther plus a white main. Well, let's get this started. We got Sigma Males against No Vision, game number 1 on Volskaya Foundry. Sigma Males in blue on the left side of the map, ladies and gentlemen. We got Chromie, played by Lizzie Ryan. We got Anafas on May. Lilix is playing white main. We got Sandro on Malthael and Nicholas on Uther. So, over on the right side, in red, we got Walking Band playing off here. Lutik is currently rocking Tyrael. We got Horosh on Johanna. Wurst-Willi, still one of the best names here for sure. And Anduin was always a Wurst. And then Mr. M on Sul'jin. So, time to party. On level 1, we're getting Bone Slicer for our auto attacker. But it's an interesting lineup that they're playing now in the first place. We have that double support over on the side of Sigma Male, so they're playing with one range damage dealer now, Chromie, but they of course also try to use Malthael as a very aggressive damage dealer later on in the fights. This is where likely the Divine Shield of Uther is going to play a role too. And then for the red team, you had this Jojo and Tyrael combo plus Sul'jin. So instead of going for Vala, who's normally who you're aiming for when you're looking for an auto attacker, they decided that Sul'jin would be the one to go for. And let's see how this is going to work out. This is going to be a bit interesting right now. Tyrael, as expected, is going to rock the side lane here. Has, by the way, gone into Justice for All on level 1. Okay. So, not into the typical Judgment build that you normally get. There is a chance that we're getting Sanctification from him, that they're just trying to use it as an extra tool on the checkpoint. But generally, I would not expect so. Oof. And Malthael taken out. So, first kill against the Sigma Male team. Now, to be fair, Sigma Males is, of course, the underdog here. As I explained before, they're in Division 4 and No Vision is in Division 2. Obviously, when you're looking at tournaments, just in general, the early rounds, especially in the group stage, you will have multiple matches, quite a few matches actually, where there's significant skill differences between teams. The way that this normally works, some people were a bit confused in the comments the other day, is that you try and seed the top teams on opposite side of the bracket so that they don't face each other, let's say in round 1, for example. And so normally in the earlier rounds you have games that are a little bit more one-sided, unless you are seeing some huge upset, which of course happens as well. But as you're progressing through the group stage, you're heading into playoffs, you're moving from round to round, and slowly and steadily, obviously, as in any tournament, the level of skill between the teams is starting to narrow, creating also much more exciting games. But in this case, there's still 2 divisions that divide the 2 teams here. So good for Sigma Males that they can make that kind of splash here in the first place, but they have to now fight for their tournament life. If they lose this series and they're out, No Vision is in the same boat, but they have a bit of an edge here. When it comes to the level of play in general, when we're talking about Division 5 teams, for example, you will get anything from bronze to silver to plat players there. But in Division 2 in particular, the occasional Grandmaster will appear, Master players as well. And we've talked just the other day about how there's even some of the players that you see regularly in top-level tournaments because they're playing in Heroes Lounge, you know, just with a couple of friends and create a team there that gets us accordingly ranked. So that's another thing to really watch out for too. If you have not experienced Heroes Lounge, I can heavily suggest that you check them out, heroeslounge.gg. There will be a link in the description as well. Absolutely fantastic amateur scene. You can sign up as an individual, you can sign up as a team. It's absolutely free, and the whole goal is just to get like-minded Heroes of the Storm fans to play together and have actual, you know, competitive matches where they can talk a little bit about, hey, what do we try and aim for? What kind of strategy could we train? A little bit of research into the opponent, and then try and execute a draft strategy. So it doesn't matter what level you are at. If you haven't tried it out, I heavily recommend it. It definitely beats playing in the public matchmaking all the time. So make sure that you check them out. Again, heroeslounge.gg, and see when the next season starts up. They have a really nice Discord, by the way, so if you have any questions and you can't find the answer on the website, just join the Discord, and they're going to help you out there. Stun on Suljin, and they try to go for the kill, but so far things are working out. Mr. M maybe he's still a little bit slippery and hasn't dried off completely. That could, of course, be one of the reasons. We got the Swift Retribution for Tyrael, and we get the Steed Charge here for Johanna on level 7. Chromie already grabbing her level 10, so let's see what we're going to get from her here. So far, just a lot of suspense, not much more. But by the way, 4.5 minutes into the game, and we only had 1 kill thus far. But the towers come out quickly, or the turrets, as they're now dropping them. Mei might be in some trouble. She's not the only one. The double support is keeping them alive, though. The combo of Whitemane and Uther is really doing okay, but it doesn't change the fact that No Vision has now the first protector of the game and can try to destroy that mid lane pretty quickly and eliminate it here. Fist to the face. Bye-bye Mei gets pushed back here a little bit. And yeah, they're doing as much damage as they can. Wall is already gone. The fort is taking damage. We have now Suljin up at the top. We need to, of course, be a little bit careful on how much they can actually do here. But that's solid damage in the mid lane. And it allows for more space at the top where they're starting to take the wall out as well. So far, so good. No Vision with a decent start here. And they're even doing a bit of damage with the protector towards the back end of the fight. Trying to go for a kill on Mei. Yeah, but again, the double heal is doing work. A lot of work, actually. So far, it's really working out quite nicely for them. I expected more kills, honestly. Stacks coming together for Suljin 2. He's currently sitting at 10. 33 for Uther on his level 1. And they keep targeting Suljin, by the way. Really trying to take him out quickly, but thus far it hasn't worked out. Now we get level 10 abilities on both sides, and this is where things are getting potentially spicy. So, what is... Oh, no! Look at that! They are pausing! They have to think about which level 10 abilities they're going to take right now. Yeah, that's a little bit of a sneaky one. That is really, really cheeky. So, I'm not quite sure what to think about that. Lizzie Ryan is the culprit here. Clearly a 3-2-3 moment, as they're trying to discuss... Yeah, Malthael disconnecting. Of course, I totally believe you. So, the tactical pause confirmed on the side of Sigma males. Trying to talk a little bit about the level 10 abilities that are now kicking in. And it's a suspense pause as well, because I was just about to say that I really want to see what Tyrael in particular is going to take here. But apparently we'll have to wait a little bit longer for this. Malthael is faking a disconnect so that the blue team has a moment to take a bit of a breather. Yeah, well, we'll see what happens once they go back to business, but I definitely want to get some heroics into the game right now so that the party can start, and if I'm right, then we're going to see a lot of aggression now from the red team. Alright, we're waiting for the level 10 abilities, and we're getting them. Ophia with the crushing jaws here, but Tyrael is still holding back. I got some bad news though. Malthael, apparently the player disconnected, and I'm not quite sure what exactly happened. But they were apparently trying to get him back into the game, and he wanted to somehow accelerate the process, left the game the wrong way, and now his game is semi-broken and he can't reconnect. So Sigma Male decided that he wasn't that good to begin with, and that they would just play this out with the bot. So we are going to be treated to some Malthael bot action, and see how strong the Malthael bot is. once that we have level 10 on him, I think we're going to see a lot of really weird ults. But, well, let's see if that works out. It's a little bit of a sad one, obviously. It's not really how you want to start into a series, so kind of unlucky for Sigma males. But something broke on the reconnect from the looks of it, and yeah, now they have to try and play it out this way. Chromie gets killed by Orphea, got slapped around a little bit. Down at the bottom of the map, the blue team is attempting to push and make a play here. So maybe they can just lock another kill in. We got 12 stacks by now for Sul'jin. And Tyrael went into Sanctification, so they're really apparently focusing on the objective battle and are trying to get extra tools that they can use on the checkpoint. When Tyrael was picked, honestly, I really thought it would be a full-on damage build, and then using Judgment, trying to maybe even tee things up for guillotine play. But yeah, we've seen none of that. So, I mean, back in the days, we had some absolutely insane bots. Muradin bot is obviously a legend. ETC Mosh Pit bots have been pretty solid too. Malthael, I think, is not all that strong, but we'll see. We got 16,000 damage currently for Sul'jin. He's the top damage dealer in the game. Chromie is a second. Coming... No, actually, Orphea is second. Chromie is third, coming in first on the blue team side. Rotation towards the top. Malthael. Yeah, and he's fine. I don't know why, but part of me is just having an eye on the bot the entire time. I'm waiting for that glorious play, you know, where Malthael bot all of a sudden just goes full beast mode and starts to rip the red team apart and wins the game for them. If that happens, then I think they're going to kick their play out in game number 2 as well. But for now, he still has to pick his heroic ability. Obviously, that's something that is always delayed. When somebody disconnects, he will pick it eventually. But now they're going on to level 13. We're having that already on the red team side, as we're seeing the enchanted boots. And, well, off we go. With level 13, we're now getting timeout. We get also well met. Again, the attack here. Malthael. Yeah, he doesn't need any talents. No, Malthael doesn't need an ult. Malthael bot is just trusting his abilities to completely go ham on this one. The power of AI. Where's my last rights? Come on, dude. What the hell? Pick the talent. Drop a last rights. That's a kill right there, and he didn't take it. That's just intentional griefing at this point. I don't care anymore. If you're at level 13 and the player didn't reconnect, pick that talent and just go ham, my friend. So Malthael bot still trying to half a bit, but yeah, we need some talents on this side. And we need them quickly. My man needs to come through for the blue team and really just reward their trust. Everybody's talking about AI these days, so we need to go full on AI on them. I, by the way, hate AI as a buzzword. It is so annoying. Every single company is talking about only one thing. It's always AI, AI, AI. Does it make sense? We don't care. We want AI. I think there's a lot of people that are probably working for some bigger tech companies here that can sympathize with that. But yeah, it's absolutely insane. Nobody asks if AI tools on a certain software, on a certain product make sense, but everybody wants to have it right now. It can be dumb, it can be useless, we just need the label AI on it because that is the flavor of the year. Chromie, talking about flavors, she's down. And I still don't see any talents for Malthael. Come on, my friend. He's jumping out, does some damage. He's actually not doing too badly. Malthael, honestly, is doing pretty okay. But my man needs talents. He's currently at 18,000, 19,000 damage. He's top damage on the blue team. But without talents, nothing is going to happen. They're finally Tormented Souls. There we go. Took him long enough. I think there's a 5-minute timer or something around it. 5 minutes, 3 minutes? I honestly can't remember. I think it's a 5-minute timer or something along those lines before the bot will take talents. But in this case, we have Malthael finally with some weapons that he can use in the team fight. And let's not forget that a lot of the combo that we're seeing on the blue team side is actually centered around Malthael doing damage. It's one of the reasons why they have gone into Divine Shield and the double support that we are seeing them run. So right now, we currently have... Well, we currently have at least Tormented Souls for him. I suppose that's what they had in mind in the first place, if they wanted to combo that off with Uther. I'm not sure, obviously, since we're here also on the amateur level. They're falling behind in experience by 1.5 levels, which is a little bit rough. Losing the top side fort certainly didn't help. And now we have the red team going for the next objective. I'm waiting for the team fight, though. I really want to see how much they can do on the team fight immediately. Get me some massive, massive Malthael pressure right there. I don't know why, but it would be really funny as hell if the bot would do well. 19 stacks on the baseline for Sul'jin. Here's the level 16 talent. They are catching up in talents, and now they can make the move here. Malthael, so far, right there at the front, doing a lot of damage, but not fully committed to it yet. We don't get an ult, but he can get in some damage. Jumps on Sul'jin, who gets saved, but what about the other two? What about Jojo? What about Ophia? Blessed Shield misses. Malthael, my friend, Divine Shield is there. Drops in, and is just not able to get the kill. Malthael bot right now with 23,000 damage, still way past Chromie. Is starting to catch up on Ophia, but he's not focusing enough just yet. So, not quite sure which AI is running that. But, yeah. The next fight, I want to have a little bit more focus on him, you know. They need to coordinate the kills just a little bit better. He's getting the damage in, and I appreciate that. But I hope that he learns from fight to fight. I mean, if we can teach him a few new tricks, then even better. So let's see what we're going to get for the next battle. But for the time being, it's No Vision that is actually doing the work here. We have 2 forts now destroyed, and the final one is down to 30% of its HP. So that chance for the red team to pull farther ahead in structures. Malthael has Tormented Souls up again. 30 seconds for the Divine Shield. Malthael is coming in. Tormented Souls is being used. Jumps in and gets slapped around and killed. Malthael is gone. The age of AI is already at an end. They're trying to scare you of Skynet, and then this happens, you know? Starts fully griefing, tries to half back the entire time. They need to make like a better bot AI for games like this before I actually am fully on board here. If anybody uses Strava, by the way, then you know that AI features can be kind of questionable at times. Not saying there aren't good ones out there, by the way. There's a lot of fantastic things that AI can do, but yeah, playing Heroes of the Storm is apparently not one of them. Nicholas, Divine Shield on Uther, and he's able to get away, but the level 20 talents that we just now saw for No Vision, of course, a bit too much for them to handle, and the pressure is on at the bottom keep as they're pushing for more. We got 4 kills to 0, and Ophia completing her level 7 quest. Yeah, they want that keep, but I'm not sure that they can really get it. They're actually dropping a bit low here. Malthael again jumps in, gets killed. No chance for him, and Ophia is just slapping one hit after another here. 53,000 damage thus far, and they're relentless. They're absolutely relentless. They want that keep, they get the keep. Keep is gone, and the core has taken damage through the top lane, and it's taking more, and nobody realizes it. They finally see it, but they're already losing 40%. Yeah, and the only one attacking it is Whitemane, so we're down to 48% on the core. Honestly, I think at that point, the red team could have just simply moved in and attacked it. With 48%, they could have auto-attacked that. Sul'jin had his ult available, Tyrael has Sanctification, and on top of that, if Tyrael dies, he takes with the explosion 5% off the core. They could have easily finished the game right there. I don't think they realized it either. But that was 100% game if they right-click the core. As long as Sul'jin picks his ult, as long as we get the ult from Tyrael and then the explosion after he dies on the core, they win that one 100%. Now they're trying to play it a bit safer, I guess, with Ophia down at the bottom of the map. Sul'jin is still getting a couple of additional turrets for the team. He's currently working the items. They're coming in here. Sanctification already used. It's a 3 versus 5 though. They are optimistic. And Tyrael gets killed. Tyrael goes down. Malthael again with the damage. The bot dropping his Tormented Souls as well for that kill. And so far, so good. 36,000 damage for him now. But we get the Protector at the bottom of the map. So, let's go. Let's see how much they can do here. Blue team is moving out pretty quickly to face them. And is the red team really... They're not going to the middle, right? They want to go for the core here. They should go for the core here. It's a little bit awkward now for Suljin and for Anduin because they're essentially playing... it's essentially a 3 versus 5 now. Because Tyrael is missing. So they have to be really careful with their positioning. But if Suljin just attacks the core as well with the Punisher, they will win this 100%. Suljin should just move in, drop his ult when he's getting attacked, and just auto-attack the core. And that's exactly what they're doing right now. 5 kills to 1. This is game. We have No Vision with the lead in this best of 3 series against Sigma Males in the losers bracket of Group A. GG.
Before we head into game number 2, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet so you don't miss out on any future content here on Khaldor TV.
Second map in the series is Infernal Shrines. We have No Vision with the lead and therefore the opportunity to close out the series on this map. Sigma Males are now back with their entire 5-man, so Sandro is back on the team. They tried out the Malthael bot in game number 1 and decided that Sandro is just a little bit better. And so they invited him back for the second map. So hopefully everything is going well now. Keep in mind, the 10 heroes that have been played cannot be played again. So 10 heroes are out. They have to draft around this a bit. But yeah, curious what we're going to get here. No Vision, obviously the favorite coming into the series. That we had to close out the series with the bot is, or the first map with the bot is a bit unfortunate, but yeah, it is what it is. Yeah, dropped a little bit too late in the game, 6 minutes in, you know, I think it was already after the first objective, if I'm not mistaken, right? Not really the time where you just re-host the game anymore. Normally that only happens when somebody drops very, very early in the game, but in this case, that just wasn't the case anymore. They tried everything to get him back. Had a little bit of extra time there, and at some point the blue team just decided, okay, we're going to do it without him. But right now we get Chen banned again. The Haka gets banned too, so if you remember the ban pattern that we saw in game number 1, this is already a bit reminiscent of what happened there. But right now, let's see what else they're going to get rid of. And also what we're going to get as picks. I was a bit surprised. Tyrael not going for Judgment in that context was really a little bit strange to me. As I said in the game, I had a moment where I even thought it could be Judgment into Guillotine. Now, I'm not really a fan of Guillotine in games where you want to win. If you're just funning around in quick match or whatever with some buddies, that's a different story. But normally when you try to win the video game, then going into Taz Dingo is just way stronger. But if you think you are already the stronger team and you have a chance there, going Judgment plus Guillotine as a bit of an executioner double would be fun. Could be a cool thing, but they decided against it. I haven't seen a whole lot of Sanctification lately, though. If you're looking at the top level of play, Tyrael has really started to move away and be more of a Judgment character. You don't necessarily pick him anymore for that layered defense that we had back in the days at like a mid-season brawl, for example, where you saw Tyrael Blaze being played a whole lot. Now it's mostly Tyrael going for a more damage-heavy build as an engage tank and then really coming in with Judgment and a team following up on it. So Sanctification has fallen off a bit. Maiev, she was actually banned on the previous map. I believe it was Sigma Males who went for the ban. Now they have first pick and they lock her in right away. So we're starting things off with Maiev for them. Already looking for fights, obviously. And then Brightwing plus Hanzo for No Vision here on Infernal Shrines. Generally, you want to have some AoE damage, of course, and usually we are seeing mages too. Mephisto was very dominant here for a long time. Gul'dan still is. You can play Kel'Thas if you're a little bit more comfortable with him. We see that on the amateur level more often. Have then also the Gravity Labs, of course, that can assist you with additional CC. But we also still need some side lanes. Could be Leo that gets taken. First we get... There's Leo, and we get Diablo together with him. So some bullying around is going to happen as they're pushing people left and right. And over on the right side, the final bans now coming in. As range damage, I think we need to see some mage power here. They have AoE with Maiev, with Leoric. But again, traditionally would now go maybe even into Gul'dan, as I mentioned before. You have your Horrify, you have your AoE for the Shrine fights, and some serious damage that you can also follow up on everything. Now, Malfurion gets banned out. You could still go for Stukov or Deckard Cain if you just want to have a bit of zone control and also combo with Maiev's Tether. So that's another tool that they could use here. Yeah. Also a bit curious what the main tank is going to be for No Vision, what they're going to get now. Well, and they're banning Garrosh. Okay, so they're trying to limit the frontline problems a bit more. Tychus is also still up, so he's another great pick for either team on the map. He could, I assume, go Tychus Hanzo, but generally speaking, I would have expected a mage for No Vision as well. But Tychus against Diablo is obviously not bad. First of all, you have the Odin transformation, which is always amazing, and then you also have the bigger they are. This, on the other hand, I didn't necessarily see coming. We get Probius for them, and Varian, who was banned in a previous series, but now can come in with Taunt, but they of course need a follow-up on him. But Probius for the side lane and even more AoE damage. So already a couple of wild picks coming in, and I am absolutely on board. No complaints from me. We're going to get our Taunt, we have Probius. On the other side, very beefy front line, triple melee that they're running. And our final two picks for the blue team are Falstad and Deckard Cain. Alright. Deckard Cain kind of called it already as an option for them. But Falstad, not necessarily what I expected as the range damage. Now that gives them a global. They can also, with Gust, play a little bit around Leoric with his Entomb. I mean, technically speaking, you can try and Entomb and Gust and get an isolation play that way. But is that gonna be enough damage for them? That's another question. And then we get Genji, so the Shimada brothers. That's a bit of a wild setup that we're seeing for No Vision here. Can they win it? Can they advance to the next run of the tournament? Well, let's find out together. We're heading straight for our second map, Inferno Shrines. Inferno Shrines on the left in blue. We have Sigma males who need to win 2 in a row now. Lizzie Ryan on my F. We got Anafas on Diablo. Sandro, after disconnecting in game number 1, now back to business and playing Leoric for the team. Nicholas on Falstad. And Lilix is playing Deckard Cain. Over on the right side of the map, we get Walking Bad with Genji. Mr. M on Varian. We got Wurstvili on Brightwing. Horosh on Hanzo. And then, interestingly enough, Lutik is playing Probius here. And is immediately headed towards the top lane. Only a dead probe is a good probe, by the way. As a Zerg player, I can tell you the one thing that you hate more than anything else in the game is seeing a probe within the first couple of seconds of the game, because it always means that your ass is gonna get cannon rushed, and nobody wants that. So they're getting some damage in against Falstad already. Yeah, Falstad has to prove himself to me a bit. I'm not sure if that was really the pick for them, if that's gonna be enough damage to be the only range damage dealer, or how exactly this is going to play out. But down at the bottom of the map, that's already where we are now seeing the next minion wave taken out. The 1 minute mark is approaching, so that means the camps will spawn, and we're gonna get them. Brightwing went into the Pixie Charm over here. Okay, didn't expect that one either. Not really a talent that you get to see a whole lot. This, by the way, brings me back to my initial point that here on the amateur level, it's not only so much about the picks themselves, where you see hero picks that might be a little bit odd because people have certain preferences. But the same is, of course, also true when you are talking about the individual playstyle of a hero. So you will see a few adjustments potentially on those as well. Could even argue that now that we're having overpower on level 1 is a similar thing. But for now, the question of the blue team can bring this back. Does the blue team have an opportunity to bring the game back or not? Leo up at the top. Already has to exchange his bucket water. It's already dirty from him trying to just clean the trash out at the top lane. So has to go back, exchange that real quickly, and then with a fresh bucket he can rejoin the top and do his thing there. Whereas the rest of the team is fighting at the bottom of the map, and that is a very, very early camp. I'm a little bit surprised that they're grabbing this one this early in the game. Now that's usually a bit of a fail. We have, for now at least, the top shrine coming up first. So that makes this a little bit better. It allows Probius to push with the camp. So I think they're getting some added value out of it. I hope that was the thought process behind it. Normally, when you have the shrine spawning in the middle or at the bottom of the map, you want to take this one just around the time the objective itself spawns, because it puts more pressure on the other lane. But Probius is now trying to use this as a bit of a shield to put additional pressure onto the top side wall. And right now it's working out, and it actually forces Leo back a bit. So more damage done. Falstad is flying up top to try and help out here. with the defense, which allows the red team to go also for their own camp at the bottom right. But the blue team has successfully claimed 2 of the bot lane camps, so they're going to be pretty happy with this. And will also take their own as the first objective approaches. Nobody's even getting close to level 7 talent, so I'm not even sure if they're going to leave heroes on the side lane in order to grab that. But with Leoric now moving down to the bottom of the map, it becomes an option for them. Mid lane still getting pushed here. There's also the camp. The timing on this one a bit stronger for them, and they will do some damage here as Probius is attempting to establish a position at the top. So that's going to be the next one, and we'll see what they can actually do with that. The attack is coming, and so far things are looking pretty okay here for the red team. They have a pretty solid situation simply because they already are 22 stacks. So not too shabby. The tether, as the blue team is starting to push in a little bit further. They're obviously wanting to reverse the situation, but it's starting to get a bit tricky for them. Diablo's in trouble. They're not getting any closer and adding more shrine minion stacks. So now they're up against 27. The blue team really having a tough time on this one. So not going to be all that easy for them. By now, we have level 7 kick in. Bonds of Corruption are ready. Blue team looking for kills again, but it's 39 stacks, and there's the 40 as Probius grabs it, is trying to get away, but gets eventually killed by Falstad. Nicely done, but there's the jump, and then the birdie is gone. Falstad is down. There's the taunt on the old man, and Deckard Cain gets killed by Hanzo. That's a double kill against the red team, and they're in real trouble at the top lane. Seems like Leo might fall too. Yep, Genji comes in and gets the kill. They're following it up on Maiev. Want to drop her as well. She is able to get away, but the fort is of course going to fall, and this is massive amounts of momentum right now for No Vision. Great job by them. Victory rush, augment the guard. They're getting closer to level 10. 1.5 levels missing until they drop or get their heroic abilities. But this is definitely a fantastic start into game number 2 for them. Probius has immediately moved down to the bottom of the map to ensure that they can push those sides a bit as well. And they want to steal the camps. Gonna take the camps away too. They're half a level ahead. By the way, top damage for Sigma males is currently Maiev with 4,400. Not a whole lot. Yeah, not really a lot of damage that we're getting from them. Now they lose out on the camp too. And there will be more pressure from No Vision as they are aiming for level 10 abilities. Yeah, it's a bit of a dicey one. That top fight, especially after the objective was taken, not really working in their favor. Now there's another camp about to be claimed at the bottom of the map. The red team is already on it, and it should give them level 10, or at least get them dangerously close. And if they now, with heroic abilities, can force a fight around the Taunt of Varian, then of course even better. Taunt into, for example, the Dragon's Arrow. Arrow gets shot! There it is! In comes the Taunt from Varian, and Diablo is still alive. Still doesn't care. Yeah, he made it. We have the Null Gate, and for Genji, we get the Dragon Blade. No X-Strike here. Nice attempt. Honestly thought that the arrow was maybe a bit optimistic, but of course they could utilize the cooldown there, no problem. With a big gap that they had on heroics. The follow-up was there though. And now on the other side, we get the barbecue, we get the entomb, so they're going for the crispy play. Get the entomb over, and then just barbecue everything inside. With also stay a while and listen for Deckard Cain. But the blue team is a little bit emboldened. They're trying to go ham here. Diablo, by the way, not stacked on his baseline, so he needs to be a bit careful. If he dies, then he's going to be down for the entire duration. Quick kill against Leoric. Now's a quick game. Maiev is moving away. Gast and the play from the old man, but Leo, he's not back, and Diablo decided that he's just simply going for the barbecue and was left behind. So that is another kill. Both of the Diablo characters bite the dust. Deckard Cain at least made it out. But that is rough. 5 kills to 1. And the favorites in the series are doing pretty okay here. No Vision with the play. Sigma males now starting to fall back further. We have the fort at the bot lane slowly attacked. And with the camp claimed at the top, they gotta deal with this too. That's where Leo comes into play. Trying to take the camp and also the catapult out. But if if No Vision wants, they can send Probius down to the bot lane and push here too. They are preferring to go for a push in the middle as well though, and Maiev is going to have a tough time dealing with this. So Maiev against Probius in the mid lane, and down at the bottom of the map, the fort is already down to 50% of its HP. Nice arrow from Hanzo to shield Varian. Bit of a shame that there was not more of a follow-up. No way! Maiev gets killed by Probius. Ouch, that hurts. That hurts. Yeah, solo kill from Probius and even more pressure on the mid lane fort. Level 13 in a second. Here comes the... Oh no! Instead of a stun, we get Probius getting pushed out of the entomb. That kind of sucks a little bit. You expect the wall stun as Diablo engages, and Probius is just cheating and gets dropped out. Because the engage was actually not bad. There we have the first play, and then it's just like, wait a second, what? All of a sudden I'm trapped? So Diablo exchanges positions with Probius essentially. But yeah, that could have been a kill, that should have been a kill. But Protoss, as usual, of course, cheating. Now, down at the bottom of the map, the fort is about to go down. So that is nearly the final one destroyed. The one in the middle will be eliminated by Probius in a second. We have the Arcane Punisher claimed for free here, of course. The kills that happened previously. So now they have the objective, the second one in the game as well. Probius has indeed eliminated the middle lane fort, by the way. And now the team is just pushing for the bottom keep. We have 27,000 damage for Probius at this point in time. 11,000 for Diablo as the top damage dealer on the blue team. But they are falling farther and farther behind. The disc is missing. Probius is now pushing the top. And Gus gets used as well. Creating a little bit more space for them. So creating some space on this. Probius is pushing the top. And is just burning those down. I mean, look at the amount of siege damage that we have here. Matching Leo, the two of them close, the two side laners. But Probius definitely a bit more successful in creating dangerous situations on the map, which we've seen the entire time. By now we have 1.5 level lead, I want to say, for No Vision. Down to the bottom of the map, yeah, Walking Bad still also sliding around with Genji, of course. They want to go for the next camp, and the Shimada brothers are already in position. We are going to see the top shrine popping up again. Disc misses. Probius and Varian are getting away from the middle. But the Frozen Punisher that spawns next at the top, that could seriously threaten a keep if it's claimed by No Vision. And given the fact that they are now closing on level 16 talents, they will have the upper hand at least at the beginning of a potential team fight. So this could become a problem. Now, Brightwing and also Genji are already on the next camp, so they want to set this up at the top again, potentially for Probius to push this further. But while that plays out, we have the blue team looking for opportunities to force a fight. Taunt is out quickly, Tether is there, and yeah, Probius has to move away. Close to being killed here. Arrow, and completely dodged, and oh my god, this one beautiful. Yeah, he's saving the good arrows for the next game. Now, 16 talents already. If you're in Florida, then duck, because this arrow is coming in hard. But they are starting... they're trying to go for the fight again, but Falstad goes for the panic button, goes for the gust, and just pushes them out. But while this happens, we have action at the top lane. The keep is taking damage, as we see No Vision pushing at the bottom of the map. There's also a camp in the middle, by the way. Diablo gets eliminated, and right now Sigma Males is just losing on all lanes. They're taking damage on every single lane and are struggling there. The disc is missing again from Maiev, and as No Vision pushes for the bottom keep, the one at the top has taken a significant amount of damage, and the catapults are still firing away. This could actually fall. This will likely fall. This is going to fall. Leo is trying to prevent it. It's not happening. The keep is gone. Same is true for the bot keep. 2 have been eliminated. That leaves only the one in the middle. And they're already pushing for the core, which might be a bit ambitious, but they don't care. They don't even go for the objective or anything. They get some damage in on the core, and they get the kill on Maiev. Diablo is back, but Falstad gets attacked right now. Diablo targeted next, and the arrow connects hard with a birdie. Falstad goes for the gust. Genji comes in, gets the kill, and this looks like it's lights out for Sigma Males. Nice job by No Vision. 11 kills to 1. They go for the core. Pretty impressive performance here in the lower bracket as they move on to the next round of the losers bracket with a victory over Sigma Males 2-0. The W on Infernal Shrine is sealing the series. GG. Well played.